I'd like to share another new tune with you. You want to learn one? Whatever it is, God's got it. Whatever it is, God is moving every day. God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God.
And if I start to worry, let it go in a hurry. 'Cause in my trials, I know that God will not desert me. My God is always with me to light my way and lift me. I'm working for God's glory, so I know
Whatever it is, God's got it. Whatever it is, I trust in God.
Yes. Whoa, whatever it is. Wow. Okay, new song. New talk. So I'm supposed to talk about stepping toward your destiny. But you know, if I could just remember that if I take a step, God's got it, I wouldn't need anything else, right? Talk's over. Okay, you're not that lucky. Stepping toward your destiny. I love this quote from our book of the month, Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I invite you to read it out loud with me. True empowerment comes when we start to look deeply at our beliefs. Then we weigh those old ideas against some new paradigms that might serve us better. Isn't that what stepping into a new destiny is? That we notice exactly what's going on with us. We're aware of what's happening in our lives, but we look more deeply. And then we compare those existing or old ideas against what might serve us better. Where might I go next in my life? And then we step into that because we are truly empowered. We're not reacting to others. We're not doing things because someone else has said it is what we should do. We have this empowerment from within us that allows us to shift our lives into something new and different. So take a deep breath and simply go within, not so much in prayer, but in a way that allows you to listen for the answer to this question. What is your new destiny? What is your next destiny? What is it that Spirit is calling forth to be expressed within you or through you? Listen and land on one or two very specific things. Where is it your turn to go now? Breathe it in and hold on to it. This is where I want you to focus during our time together this morning. If you are to step into your destiny, the first step is knowing what that is. That you get to choose what your destiny is. And in the first part of this book of the month, Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, it's all about breaking the habits, changing the beliefs that have gotten you to where you are now. And, you know, where you are now might be perfectly fine. And You are always evolving as life is always expanding and expressing in you. When we teach that, there is no stagnation. So if we are moving forward, we're stepping into our next destiny, our next expression of good. And so you have just chosen that or focused on it or listened for it. And in the first part of the book, what Joe Dispenza has done is he really describes and defines what it means to change our thinking, what it really means to change our thinking. A lot of times, especially in new thought circles, the phrase change your thinking, change your life gets used a lot, yes? And so it's easy to fall into the trap of going, well, okay, I used to think I wasn't worthy, but now, today, I know that I am worthy of the best that life has to offer. And we think just because we said that, or we had that thought once, everything is going to shift. How great it would be if it was just that easy, right? But what it really means to change our thinking so that we can move toward our new destiny, it means that we look at things differently, we then behave differently, and then once those behaviors kick into place over and over and over again, those behaviors become a habit, and we have a new habit that then we realize reflects or causes a new life or a new experience. So there's a little bit between change your thinking, change your life. And so one of the great things about this book, a lot of people have said that it really helped them realize all the science. So those of you who like the science part of Science of Mind, oh my goodness, the first part of this book is written just for you. Quantum physics, the neural pathways, how the brain works, it's all right there. And it's written in a way that even those of us who are not the science nerds can actually understand it. So that's what it means to change our thinking. And we've spent a little bit of time on that earlier this month. I would say to you, if you missed Dr. Petra's talk about that a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that you might want to go to YouTube and check it out, because she bridges the gap so beautifully between what we know and believe in Science of Mind, the science of it, and what it means to actually change our thinking. So much of what we have learned and experienced has been incorporated into our biological self. And so this is just that reminder that what we're thinking connects with what we're feeling, and it really becomes a part of our biology. It's not just some awareness or some thinking and we can have those thoughts. It gets hardwired into our entire body. And we don't recognize that or realize it until we think we've ended a relationship like 10 years ago, and you don't even think about that person, and you're off in a new relationship and a new life, and you're really very happy, and then you go to some party, right, and your ex is there. And all of a sudden, you're mad, you're angry, you're resentful. You're like, what is that person doing here? Well, who invited them? Well, I don't know. I think I should go home now. And you're off and running, because the biological incorporation of both your thoughts and your feelings is still in there. And what we really get to do is shift that intentionally when we are going into a new destiny. We get to choose, because we have been hardwired by our past experiences and choices, and now we get to create new experiences and choices. Does that make any sense to anybody in the room beside me? And in the second part of the book, in part 2, again, the foundation is really laid very well for us moving toward our new destiny, because that part of the book focuses on why we want to change our thinking. So when I decide I have a new destiny that I am moving toward, that's really great. But so many of us don't decide. We just kind of respond to whatever happens in life. We just react to whatever is going on or whatever others say. But Dispenza reminds us that if you can predict the feeling of every experience in your life, there's no room for anything new. So we're on automatic so much. And if someone says, what would you do in this situation? And you're absolutely sure this, I would do this. What are you doing next week? Oh, I know, absolutely this. It's when you get to that point where you can actually predict everything that's going to happen or how you're going to feel, then there's no room for anything new to occur. Your past, your history is running your today. So one of the reasons that it's important to intentionally change is so that we can move to that ever-expanding destiny. Voltaire said that good is the enemy of great. Just breathe that in. Good, my good life, my good job, my awareness, my comfort with my friends, my knowing what my family's going to do and how they're going to behave. Good is the enemy of great. Don't let your good get in the way of your great. So that's part of the why we want to move forward. But even once we know that, why we want to change so that we can expand and have a greater life, it's important for us to understand what's happening when we do that. So Dispenza refers to the 3 brains that allow us to move from thinking to doing to being. And I resonate with that in a lot of ways. In Science of Mind, what we teach a lot is that you have the mental cause. You change your thinking, you choose your cause, you set your intention. It's a affirmative mental activity. And because of that, we use our mind and we use that mental cause to then go into body, into body action, the physicalization or the chemicalization of what we have been thinking. And that would be the doing mind that Dispenza refers to. And when those two combine, the mental reinforced by the physical or the body, that we are able to move into soul or into the being, the new person, having the new experience. But it's just a part of who we are. We're not having to force it. We are being it. So, after 20 years of saying no, I was not to be a licensed practitioner, one day I had a new thinking that it was time to become a licensed practitioner. That led to 400 hours of doing, because if you're not aware of it, our licensed practitioners take about 400 hours of classes before they can take the exams to be a practitioner. So that was a lot of doing. The mental commitment, the learning, the knowledge, but doing, going to class week after week, month after month. But now, several years after consciously the doing, the practicing it, now it's a way of being. Does that progression, can you think of things in your life where you have gone from thinking brain to doing brain to being brain? Another way to think of that would be you move from analysis to action to automation. right? It's a process, and you cannot move and step toward your destiny without using all three. You'll know and you'll be in your destiny when you are in that beingness. But contrary to popular opinion, you can't wake up one day and say, oh, I am now ready to become a practitioner, and then jump into being. It just doesn't work that way. And so that's in the middle of the book. A lot of the science and a lot of the description is about moving through the process of these three brains. And Dispenza is a real strong advocate and teacher of meditation as a part of what you can physically do to integrate all three brains so that it becomes subconscious and you can then experience real and permanent change in your life. So if you haven't already purchased the book, maybe you've been over a couple of weeks and it was sold out, this is a book that's really, really powerful. And Dr. Petra has been leading the Wednesday evening series through this month to go one step further than anything that any of us can talk about on Sunday morning and actually put some of it into practice. How many of you have been to a Wednesday night series this month? Look around the room, a lot of people. And so the Wednesday series, if you're not familiar with it, is free. It's no charge from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And it's the opportunity we have every month, except December, to just go a little bit deeper and to share with each other what insights we're having and what examples we're having. And we've been doing that with parts 1 and 2 of the book. So the foundation has been laid for us to now be poised and ready to step toward that destiny. And part 3 of the book is all about how to actually change our thinking once we know what we want. Now, there's a little piece about knowing what you want and how to change our thinking that is really important. So when I asked you to breathe in and listen for what's your next destiny, what's the destiny that you are now ready to step toward? I asked you that for a really important reason. So often, so many of us came from spiritual traditions or religious traditions that said, well, you want to change your thinking, but change your thinking, that's good, and then wait for God to show you the way. That phrase that I grew up using and still use today, thy will be done, or God's will be done, is a very powerful phrase. But growing up, for many of us, we heard that in the context of, it's God's will, and God will decide what's best for you, and God will determine your destiny, and, you just have to sit back and wait for God to tell you exactly what your destiny is. Well, in Science of Mind, we teach it from a deeper metaphysical, spiritual level that God's will is always being done because this energy, this presence that we know as God has one will, one desire, and that is that each one of us live life, live it abundantly according to our own beliefs, according to what we decide, the intention that each one of us individually sets. The universe simply says, yes. I want a new car, yes. I want to have a job I love, yes. I want to have a business that's successful, yes. I want to have friends and family that I love hanging out with, and we do these things together. The universe says, yes. So the universe is simply saying yes. And if you sit back and say, well, I'm going to wait and God will decide, and as an external God, then guess what? The universe will say, oh, you want to sit and wait? Haven't decided yet? Yes. Cool. I'm with that. I'll just wait till you decide. And I'll support your waiting because that's what you said you wanted. So the first step in how to change our thinking is, we have to set the destiny. We have to set the intention. And then we begin to order the change as a choice, not as a reaction. Not as a reaction to the fact that someone left me and went into a different relationship. Not as a reaction to the letter from the IRS that says, you will now be audited. Oh, there's a little rumble there. Not as a reaction to being laid off. Not as a reaction to someone telling you that you're not good enough. Not as a reaction to anything. Our change can be a choice instead of a reaction. And if that's what we're about, then we get to use all the tools, all the resources that are available to us to do that, not just once, but over and over and over again. Are there any people in the room who have a belief about themselves that it's difficult or challenging to meditate? Okay, only less than a third. Less than a third.
You aren't telling the truth.
I know you're in spiritual community. You know we do a lot of meditation. You're supposed to know how to do it. So, yeah. Well, the reality is that I've been meditating for well over 30 years. And I learned more. And I learned how to use meditation in a different way in this book, in chapters 9 through 13 of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And the first time I was going through it, I was impressed. Not for me. I was impressed saying, oh, this is really good. It's a step-by-step for people who are uncomfortable meditating or who just don't have a lot of experience with meditation. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'll have to share this with others. But then because I knew that I was going to be doing this talk, I thought, let me actually try out some of what he is saying and putting in the book. And I love the process. In these chapters, it's a 4-week process that you could do in 4 weeks or 4 months or a whole year. And here's what's different about it. It doesn't just give you the basics of meditation and how to think about it and how to physically do it. It incorporates practice. So it incorporates reflection, reflecting about specific things to help you identify and clarify what your destiny is. And then from there, there's some writing assignments that get you to journal or make lists of barriers, of successes, of resources, of things like that. And then after you've done that, it's not lost on me, after you've done the mental work, after you've done the physical work, writing, journaling, making lists, then he wraps those meditations around the output that you have created in those first 2 steps. And so it's really personal and it's really powerful. And so if it's helpful to you and you want to use a spiritual technology that will help you step toward your destiny, then I can highly recommend that you utilize some of the suggestions and guidelines in chapters 9 through 13 in the book. And there are some related meditations that you can download on his website. So all of this is, we're doing this in community. We can support and help each other. And we can move into our new destiny from a place of joy and inspiration. So the Dispenza quote is very much a reminder that we can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering. Anybody done that? No. Pain, suffering, yes, we learn our lessons that way. But it's not the only way that we can learn. So if we truly want to step into our destiny, then we want to evolve in a state of joy and inspiration. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for myself, that I choose my destiny and I use every tool and resource available to me to help me do that. Just as you might have experienced when you learned to cook Thai food, play golf, dance the salsa, or drive a stick shift, the newness of the endeavor will require you to practice this ability continually, training both your mind and your body to memorize each step. Think back to when you learned to drive a car. Most of us were probably 15 or 16 years old. We've been riding in cars for 15 to 16 years. We've been observing people drive for 15 to 16 years. We know how to do it. Yeah. Oh, I know how to drive. I know how to drive. You get behind the wheel, you drive. You know, I've watched people do it for 16 years. I got this. Yeah, you're laughing because you know. Then you get the key and you put it in, and especially if you learn to drive on a standard transmission, right? And so there were all these things to remember, and you had to balance the clutch and the accelerator, and you had to look forward so you didn't run into anybody, and you had to check in the rearview mirror, and then you had to check the side mirror, and don't ask me to parallel park, please. And I mean, all of that's going in your mind at 16 or whatever age you started driving. And you're like, it looked so easy. And I've been wanting to drive. This is my new destiny. I get to drive. And I'll tell you, that first 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, maybe I don't really want to drive. This is hard. But I'd continue to do it every day, year, decade. And when I get in the car, what was 14 different steps in the first 30 seconds now is just a wash. I don't even think about it. So anytime we want to move into a new destiny, we have to remember that when we're learning something new or choosing something new, it's really important that we learn the sequence of actions and we practice them one by one, but eventually they'll become 1 or 2 simple steps. Now, I know this makes sense to you in your head, but I do want to lock it in with a second example. So if you are in the room and you know how to do a basic golf swing, would you please stand up? Do I have any golfers in the room? Oh, good. I've got quite a few. All right. So I have a golf club. And as I shared earlier today, I have never played golf. And if you're standing, I really would like it if you would keep standing for about 3 minutes, if you're able to. So I've never played golf before. I have only held a golf club less than 10 times, and probably 7 or 8 of those times was when I was helping Kathy Farrer move, and I was moving her several dozen golf clubs from one place to the other. So in other words, I don't know much about golf except what I've seen on TV. So I need you to help me learn how to do a basic golf swing. So please give me instruction now. Just talk to me, please. Kathy is not allowed to help. But yes, I go take lessons from our LPGA golf pro, Kathy Farrer. But right now, in this moment, within 3 minutes, I want to be able to do a basic golf swing. What do I do?
Put the grip in your left hand, the top part. That your left hand. Now put it down at the heavy part down on the ground. That's the beginning. Now put your right hand on top of your left hand, like this. Cross over your little finger.
Okay, somebody else help? Shake hands with the club. Shake hands with the club. Okay, what else?
Now place the club part down on the ground. Right, and then square your, put your hands.
Square, what does that mean?
Square your hips. Hold the top.
Hold it this way. What? I can't see you. There are lights.
Left leg. Bend the left leg.
Bend the left leg.
You gotta mind your hips.
Okay, somebody over here, give me some help. Give me some coaching. Have I swung a baseball bat? Yes! I got a good hold on it, Susan. I'm not going to let go. Okay, give me some help, Adam. Okay, I only got 1 more minute. Keep your eye on the ball. It's right there. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Keep my head down. What else? Like a pendulum. Okay, I'm going to swing now. I love this. I got people like giving me visual, like show you. Yes?
Yes. Okay.
Do you get the...
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Wait, close your eyes.
Close your eyes and picture a weeping willow blowing in the breeze.
That means I have to know what a weeping willow is. But yes, picture a weeping willow blow in the breeze. And relax. And do all of that and relax. Okay, you can sit down now. Thank you. It just looks so easy when Tiger Woods is doing it. But that's not what it's like when we are stepping toward our new destiny. It's new. There's going to be people giving you instructions and support. You're going to need that. But you also have to put it into your body. You have to practice it, and practice it just as if you were trying to learn a new golf swing or learn to drive. We so often think it's going to be instantaneous. But in practicing, what we are doing is we are saying to the universe that our prayers are already answered. We believe that. We're living the prayer. So when you live as if your prayers have already been answered, this greater mind begins organizing your life in new and unusual ways. That is what moves you into your new destiny, your new reality. And so I am hoping that you will take this visual of the awkward golf swing into your commitment to be an original, to move into the destiny that only you can create and produce, to be the light in the world, to be the new you. This week, will you dare to be an original? Will you join me in stepping into a new destiny?
Amen. Yes. Amen. Yes, I will.
It's me and you. let us take that into prayer, into this holy yes, this yes of being, becoming a new original, letting go of what has happened up until this very moment, and stepping forward into the new destiny, my destiny, your destiny, our destiny. I simply breathe in this moment, the power and the presence of the divine that is the source of all creativity and the source of all of life itself, knowing that my life is expanding right here and now. Our lives are becoming something brilliant, bright, miraculous. I know that I step forward with complete confidence and faith that God's got this. God's got me. And so there is nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. There is only the intention set in this very moment to move forward toward a new destiny. So with deep, deep gratitude, I accept this challenge, and I am ready to step into my destiny. I am ready to go forward. I am ready to break the habit of being myself and creating a new self that demonstrates my knowing the importance of keeping it real. So I breathe it in, and I release anything that's out of alignment with this intention. I claim it as the truth. I accept it. I know it, and I affirm it. And we all affirm this truth for each of us and for all of us by saying together, and so it is.
One voice singing hallelujah.